Good morning, everyone. So, in this presentation, our topics are the eye and the magnifier. So, first, let's talk about human eye. So, human eye are considered as one of the most remarkable optical instrument, and it consists of various parts that enable us to see. So, now let's talk about the parts of the eye. So, first is the cornea. It is the outermost layer of the eye and it's sharply curved and covered by a tough, transparent membrane. So when light enters the eye, it passes through the cornea first and it bends light rays inward, gathering them together in an area small enough to enter the eyeball. Next is the aqueous humor. So it is a clear fluid filling the space in the front of the eyeball between the lens and the cornea. Since the lens and the cornea have no blood supply, the aqueous humor performs the blood's job of carrying nutrients to those structures. Next is crystalline lens. It is a transparent elastic structure behind the iris by which light focuses onto the retina of the eye. This means that it focuses light into an image on the retina and produces one-third of the eye's total optical power. Next is the vitreous humor. It is a transparent jelly-like tissue filling the eyeball behind the lens. It helps support the shape of the eye and transmits light to the retina. Next is the iris. It is a flat, colored ring-shaped membrane behind the cornea of the eye with an adjustable circular opening in the center. This controls the amount of the light that enters the eye by opening and closing the pupil. Next is the pupil. It is the hole located in the center of the iris that follows light to strike the retina. This means that it allows light to enter the eye so it can be focused on the retina. Next is the ciliary muscle. It connects the iris to the choroid. This controls the lens of the eye and produces the fluid, which is the aqueous humor. Next is the retina. So, it is the layer of the back of the eyeball containing cells that are sensitive to light. It receives and organizes visual information. So, this means retina is where the images form. Next is rod and cone. So rod is the sensor equipment and cones gather information. So this means the rods detect light and the cones determine color. So next is fovea centralis. So it is the small depression in the retina where visual acuity is highest. It provides our absolute sharpest vision. And the last one is the optic nerve. So it transfers visual information. So it transmits sensory information for vision in the form of electrical impulses from the eye to the brain. So now let's move on to the operation of the eye. So the cornea lens system focuses light onto the back surface of the eye and it also contains sensitive receptor and scent impulses. So the cornea and lens help to focus the light rays onto the back of the eye, which is the retina. And next is the accommodation. So this is the process by which the vertebrate eye changes optical power to maintain a clear image focus on an object as its distance varies. So it is limited in that objects very close to the eye and produce blurred images. So this means accommodation is the ability of the eye to change its focus from the distant to near objects and vice versa. So next is the near and far point of the eye. So near point is it's the closest distance for which the lens accommodates to focus light on the retina. So for a 10-year-old, it considered to have a near point at about 18 cm. And for a 20-year-old, it's about 25 cm, and age 40 is about 50 cm, and age 60 is less than 500 cm. Next is the far point. So, farthest distance for which the lens of the relaxed eye can focus light on the retina. So, a normal vision has a far point of infinity. Next, let's proceed to the condition of the eye. So the eye suffer a mismatch between the focusing power of the lens cornea system and the length of the eye. So eyes may suffer from diseases such as myopia, hyperopia, presbyopia, and astigmatism. But first, let's talk about nearsighted. So a person can focus on nearby objects but not those far away. This means the light focuses in front of the retina. So myopia or nearsightedness is where the light focuses in front of retina and not infinity but maybe less than 1 meter, thus insufficient to form sharp images. So this means myopia is a common vision condition in which you can see objects near to you clearly but objects farther away are blurry. So correction of nearsightedness or myopia require a diverging lens or negative lens that compensates the overconvergence by the eye. Next is the far-sighted. So this is where light rays reach the retina before they converge to form an image. So this means light focuses behind of retina. So people whose eyes are far-sighted suffer from the disease known as hyperopia. So if a person has hyperopic eye, the image is formed behind the retina, making the image very large compared to what a normal eye can see. So this means a far-sighted person can see very far objects clearly but has a difficulty focusing on near objects. So they can see much farther than 25 centimeter. So the correction of far-sightedness require a converging lens or positive lens that compensates for the overdivergence by the eye. So next is the presbyopia. So this is an old age vision and a reduction in accommodation ability. In this condition, the cornea and lens do not have sufficient focusing power to bring nearby objects into focus on the retina. So this is a normal ailment of a person that gets old. So this condition can be also corrected with converging lenses or positive lenses like hyperopia. And the last condition of the eye is the astigmatism. This is where light from a point source produces a line image on the retina. This is produced when either the cornea or the lens or both are not perfectly symmetric. So an astigmatic person will see horizontal and vertical lines not equally distinct and clear because of the unevenness in the curvative of the lens of the eyeball. This condition results in blurred vision and headaches. So astigmatism can be corrected with lenses with different curvatives in two mutually perpendicular directions. So next is diopters. So a diopter is a unit of measurement of the optical power of a lens or curved mirror which is equal to the reciprocal of the focal length measured in meters. So the power of a lens in diopters equals the inverse of the focal length in meters. So this writes as P is equal to 1 over F. So now let's proceed to our next topic, which is the magnifier. So a magnifier is the most basic of all the optical instruments and increases the apparent size of an object. So as the object moves closer to the eye, angle increases and a larger image is observed. A magnifier in front of the eye forms an image at infinity. So in the study of lenses, if the source was placed within a focal length of a converging lens, the lens yield and magnified image on the same side of the lens as the source. So this is how magnifying glass works. So the amount of magnification depends on the distance of the source from the lens and the refractive index of the lens material. So this is the end of our topic for this day, and I hope that you learned something, and keep safe always.